Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to a best of 5 series of top level StarCraft 2 from the European server. What I've got for you today is the finals of the ESL Open Cup number 207. We're in the top left hand corner of Equilibrium. I guess we can do a little bit of trivia, okay? We have a European Protoss player who made it to the finals of an online StarCraft 2 tournament. Who do you think it's gonna be? Of course, it's none other than MaxPax. His opponent, the winner of many ESL Open Cups in the past, but recently he managed to get surpassed by guys like, for example, MaxPax, but also by guys like, for example, Clem. Well, if it's not Clem, who do you think it's gonna be? It's none other than HeroMarine. Maybe I should play StarCraft 2 trivia in every single one of my videos now. That'll be helpful, right? If you would like to see more StarCraft 2 trivia, make sure you subscribe so you get notified as soon as future casts go live. Anyways, I've heard that this particular series is a lot of fun. I decided to look up the list of notable participants for this particular online cup. And this is that list. Now, first off, if not every single one of these names rings a bell, don't feel ashamed, okay? I also, I watch StarCraft 2 pretty much day in and day out, and I don't recognize every single person on this list, so quote-unquote notable participants, I suppose, but also notice the lack of some players, like, for example, Clem. It turns out that this entire event was played on the 25th of December, so it was literally played on Christmas Day. Now, I know that pro gamers in general, they have mind games going on with everything that they do, okay? I've been to many StarCraft 2 tournaments, and these guys, they take competition very serious. Everything from rock, paper, scissors, to foosball, to even beer pong. They take strategy and beer pong extremely serious. I can imagine that they're also playing mind games as far as tournament participation goes, because who's really gonna be signing up for an event on Christmas Day? Well, HeroMarine was probably hoping that MaxPax would skip, but MaxPax does not skip any tournament, it seems. If it's online, MaxPax can play it, even if it's at 4 in the morning, he will still end up participating, pretty much regardless. Now, what in the world is going on here? Proxy pylon on the right side of the map. I think HeroMarine is going for a semi-fast expend over at the golden minerals. Alright, I think this has to be Cyclone play, right? It's double gas in the main base for Terran. There's a refinery right here as well. This is just about to get really awkward. Reaper on the other side of the map. Scouts out that everything is pretty normal, although we don't have a Twilight Council or a Stargate. So HeroMarine getting a scout off of the opponent's main base would be really nice, but I don't think he's going to be able to. It's a triple gateway rush. There's the Cyclones coming up as well, though. Yep. No additional scouting right now for HeroMarine. So, this is going to be a very interesting dynamic. I think what MaxPax is doing, right? So he saw the expansion timing right there for his opponent. And because of that, he's decided, yo, I am going to go for mass Stalker production. I'm going to chrono boost out the Warp Gate. And the Warp Gate upgrade, that is. I'm going to start harassing my opponent as quickly as possible. He shuts down the SCV that was producing the command center, but now the Cyclones are coming out. Now, I find the dynamic between unupgraded Stalkers and unupgraded Cyclones to be very funny, because they behave very strangely against one another. And I think we're going to have to see some of that here. It's a, double factory start here for HeroMarine. Okay, Robo Facility on the back of this too. Warpin coming up here at home. Proxy Pylon on the other side of the map together with the Warp Gate are already done. So MaxPax is going to be able to send a tremendous amount of units out on the map. But can these Cyclones take them on? So Cyclones can move and shoot at the same time, but their lock-on range is not quite as big as it once used to be. And Stalkers without Blink actually have a pretty hard time escaping. Cyclones are actually pretty good, it's just that, I don't know, they feel like they're made out of paper, you know? They're pretty easy to produce. Yeah, this micro here is gonna have to be on point by both players. It's just one of those scenarios that we rarely see. Nice little bit of SCV control here as well, actually. I thought the SCVs would be used for repair, but instead they're combat workers over here. Okay, gets another one of those Stalkers. Not bad so far here for HeroMarine. The only problem is that he's got a lot of SCVs not mining, and I don't know if he's been on top of his SCV production here in general, because he's currently only got 30 workers in total. Yeah, so as this game goes on, we do have a nice income advantage right here for MaxPax. And ultimately, right, whenever you have these exchanges where... it's so awkward, yeah. When you have these exchanges where both players are losing quite a bit of stuff, generally speaking, it's the guy who's getting more income who can make more stuff in the long run. Now, it looks like HeroMarine has won the battle for now, though, so he's going to be able to shut down this pylon at the very least. Prism is already available here for MaxPax. Okay. So, Twilight Council on the back of this. I'm assuming we're going to go straight into the Blink research. We do have the speed upgrade here finishing up as well for the Cyclones, so that is going to make things a lot easier. We're not actually doing anything yet. He needs 150 gas, I guess, for that upgrade. What did he spend his gas on? Oh, he just spent his gas on a Robo unit instead. Okay, so Immortal is going to be the name of the game. So what was the Twilight Council for? Oh, it's going to be for charge. Okay, fair. Okay, nice little bit of harassment here. This is the MaxPax special. Super annoying. So right now, HeroMarine is prepared to defend his 4th base. Well, what is normally his 4th base. His first expansion over here. But yeah, Stalkers in the main base. Actually kills 6 SCVs. That is quite significant. I mean, yeah, resources lost-wise, this is not great, of course, for Protoss. But I don't absolutely hate it. It's just... yeah, HeroMarine was slow starting right here with this base. I guess right now it's fully running though. So we've got the rich Vespian Geyser also being harvested, the golden minerals. I think at this point, yeah, despite the fact that he's like 12 workers behind, HeroMarine is going to be able to inch out a small advantage. Third Nexus coming up as well on the left side of the map. That one's going to finish in a moment. And after the charge upgrade, apparently we're now also going into a Dark Shrine. Is that something that HeroMarine is expecting? So he's only seen a Prism so far and a bunch of slow Stalkers. Right? He knows that there's a Robo facility up. Normally, you don't really see players going from a Robo facility into like an early-ish Dark Shrine. Like this Dark Shrine timing is very strange. HeroMarine also not really in a position to go across the map. Although the Cyclone numbers right now are, yeah, pretty significant. Alright, well... the Dark Shrine is fully finished. Do we have any detection? We have one scan. There's one scan. There's no missile turrets. Oh, dude. Oh, this is an awkward moment. HeroMarine finally stabilized. Yeah, I know. He can't scan. I mean, he can scan one of them. But that's it. He has no detection. You know, this is one of those moments where your average Silver League hero is better at the game because they forget to use their orbital commands. This sucks for HeroMarine. Yeah, he wasn't prepared for this. It's a strange transition, though. Even in these weird scenarios, it seems like MaxPax is still in firm control. That being said, though, this is a scary army here. Obviously, you can use the Dark Templar defensively, too. Yeah, here's one of them. I would not mind seeing a Dark Templar being sprinkled in. Instead, we're going to just use the Immortals. Immortals don't mess around against this sort of army. Looks like eventually most of the Dark Templar have been dealt with, but I mean, there's still one forcing all of those SCVs to run. Oh, okay. Well, this is now essentially an all-in. Can HeroMarine win this game with this army that he's got? Killing this base alone is not enough. I would love to see some defensive Dark Templar warp in. Like, why do we not have some Dark Templar just being sprinkled in here? I guess he doesn't need it. I feel like it would still be a pretty good choice, though. Yeah, MaxPax is insanely good lately, man. Like, statistically, he's the highest ranked Protoss in the world. But for a while, he was just a bit too predictable, you know? Now he's got that, like... smoothness, right? That agile playstyle that we see from the best players in the world, where they can be thrown into a weird scenario and then actually still play a really good game. Because it looks so easy now, right? When you see him execute this sort of stuff, it's like, yeah, you just build a Dark Templar, like a Dark Shrine at a random moment. But realistically, it's very, very tricky to pull off because the Dark Templar are pricey. Like, you have to make yourself look a lot more scary than you actually are. And now, I mean, is there enough for Terran to break through this? He still needs to address Dark Templar. I don't know why we're not using Dark Templar offensively here against his army, but I guess he doesn't need it. That's the only reason why, I think. Not that he's forgetting. GG is cold. MaxPax wins an excellent game number 1. Alrighty. Game number 2. We find ourselves on the map Hecate. By the way, still have a bit of a cold. I feel like my voice, at least in my own headphones, it sounds very funny. Or funnier than per usual. It's, I don't know, I was editing yesterday's video, and I noticed my voice actually doesn't really sound too strange. But in my own headphones, it sounds a bit weird. I feel like it sounds different again today than it did yesterday, though. I'm feeling a little better overall, but apparently my voice is like, nah-uh. Not gonna do it, brah. That's how I imagine my voice talks to me? Guess it makes sense. Also, I've had a little too much coffee this morning, I think. I watched this, like, one coffee video, right, a couple of weeks ago. And I accidentally went down the coffee rabbit hole. It's been a interesting discovery so far. I've been drinking coffee for many, many years, but it turns out there's all kinds of fancy ways to make coffee and all kinds of different methods that I had never heard of, and many of them you can pick up for like 20 bucks. So I was like, oh, a little maca pot, great idea. AeroPress? Sure, let's give it a try. So I've been drinking a little too much coffee. In case I start rambling off about unrelated stuff, like for example coffee. This is what I'm talking about, man. That's why. I'm buzzing a little bit. Anyways, it's only like 10 in the morning. Is it normal to be on your third cup of coffee at 10 in the morning? It depends, I guess, on what time you wake up. I think I woke up at 8. No, I think it was 7:30. Anyways, yeah, okay, I gotta slow down after this. Standard opener here once again for Mr. MaxPax. Double gas start here for HeroMarine, so once more, he's gonna be going for that quick factory. There's no golden base on this map, but we do have some of these right over here. The most cursed looking base ever. Nobody cares about these. It's just not particularly relevant. Yeah, it was a cool idea by the map maker, but I don't know. I don't think I like it. It looks cool, right? With like half gold and half blue mineral fields, but I've never seen anybody take a risk specifically to get that base going. Maybe it's worth it, honestly, but yeah. It's a little too dangerous for a little bit too... like, for too small a reward, you know? It's like high risk, small reward. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Ooh, a Stargate start. Okay. So, that's interesting to me. I was just fanboying over MaxPax being a very complete player these days. Now, if I was a betting man, I would have put him on a Twilight Council opener in like 9 out of 10 of his games, okay? And especially in game number 1, after that game, he played a robo facility first, right? Like a triple gateway start in game 1 of this series. I figured he would go for his comfortable style here instead in that case and go for a Twilight Council, as we do have double Reaper following all of this up, getting one of those probe kills so far. Alright, it's Oracles. So don't get me wrong. 2 probes. Nicely done. This guy over here, 2 confirmed kills. Okay, well this dude is dead. Sorry about that, mate. A third probe ends up going down. I would have liked it a lot better if he did not lose 2 of the Reapers as well, but... okay. I was wondering what the follow-up from the Oracle was going to be. Did we see some Phoenix styles? I mean, it's something that we have very frequently in this particular matchup, where Protoss players open up Phoenixes into Colossus. But this is a single Oracle into a Twilight Council instead. It's a very expensive Oracle when you think about it, because this guy also has the built-in time as well as the resources of that Stargate, all on his shoulders. Yeah. So that's a good example as to why we don't see a lot of like we do see Oracle play, but it's not as good against Terran as it is against Zerg. So this is actually an interesting balance decision that I've always kind of wondered about, right? I understand why it happened, because once upon a time those Oracles were too oppressive, but SCVs have 45 health at full hit points. So it takes 3 shots of an Oracle to kill them. Probes as well as drones, so the Zerg and the Protoss workers, have 40 health in total. So for the probes it's 20 shields and 20 health, so they can be killed in only 2 hits. It's an interesting decision. It's maybe also one of the reasons why we don't see a lot of Widowmine drops in Terran versus Terran. There's been a lot of debate about Widowmines in the StarCraft 2 community over the last, well, I want to say last year or so, really. Players really are not fans of Widowmines right now. It's such a strong build. MaxPax never really seems to take a lot of damage, but if you're not MaxPax... Oh, okay, I was gonna say, yeah, those are the moments that can just straight up cost you the game. One of my favorite balance suggestions I've ever heard of people saying that the Widowmine needs to be nerfed is that they need to increase the damage output of the Widowmine to be able to deal as much damage to SCVs as they do against probes and against drones as well, which I think is kind of cute, right? So give the Terrans a taste of their own medicine. I think that's a pretty clever way of balancing the unit, just to get everybody on board with getting the Widowmine at least a little bit decreased in strength. I don't know if we're ever really gonna see any changes to it. If I were to make a prediction, I think the change we're gonna see to Widowmines one day is that you can only ever fit 2 Widowmines inside of a medevac rather than 4. I think that would be a small nerf to the unit, but also one that's reasonable. There you go. There's my prediction. I don't know if it's a good one, but anyhow. MaxPax does have Blink done at this point. That Phoenix is mostly here to provide the high ground vision, I guess, but it's not really it's not really achieving all too much. Sorry, I need to take another sip of my coffee. My voice is... I was gonna say, I don't think we can blink aggressively forward here, MaxPax, but grabbing one SCV and I think actually it was one Marine here. Not absolutely awful, right? Better than nothing. As long as we don't take too much base damage. Lovely control right here by MaxPax. Here's that Terran attack though, coming in. So this is +1 with combat shields as well as Stimpack. So right now, 0 Stalkers have gone down. Yeah, MaxPax is extremely good at keeping a lot of these units alive. And of course, as soon as I say that, he loses a Stalker. That's the caster curse, but he's buying a lot of time here for these additional 6 gateways to finish up. Charge is going to be done as well in 10 seconds. Battery overcharge. Can it buy enough time? I think it can. HeroMarine needs to get something done with this attack. That siege tank here, super annoying. But I love this one Phoenix. Oh, that was... Honestly, that Phoenix, kinda hot, right? Like, if I could marry any of these it would be the Phoenix. Everybody was questioning his existence, right? You were wondering, like, really, you want to make a Phoenix just to provide high ground vision so you can get your Stalkers in the main base? That never happened. And then that one Phoenix ultimately ends up winning that fight. Third command center is finishing up right now for HeroMarine. He has been overmaking SCVs for a little bit. But as he's finishing up his third, the 4th Nexus already starts up here for MaxPax. Okay, big Dune drop going into the main base. That Hero Phoenix sees it coming in, gives Protoss the heads up that he needs to get over here. This is a good drop though for HeroMarine, although does he have enough stuff? He kills 1 gateway. Gotta be real careful that he does not lose half of his medevacs. I was gonna say. Okay. Acceptable losses right there. Robo Bay on the back of this. Siri, what are you doing, bro? I don't know if you could hear that. Siri decided to start talking to me. Reason number 69, not to buy an iPhone. Siri sometimes starts talking to me when I don't want him to. Anyways, we've got zealots going to town everywhere. Lots of aggression all over the map. 4th Nexus did end up getting cancelled there. Okay. Stalkers and Zealots, as well as whatever other unit that's left over, apparently, marching across. Good defense right here by HeroMarine, though. Keeping a lot of his important units alive. What did I say that triggered that voice assistant? Let me know down below in the comment section. Did I say, like, seriously? Well, it didn't trigger this time around. I figured that was something like it. Anyways, big Zealot warp in right now into the main base. So MaxPax is trying to pile on the pressure, and finally, he's getting that damage done that he's been looking for. His main army over here distracting the main army of HeroMarine. Loses a bunch of important units here in the process, but he's killing so many workers. Oh my lord, 30 SCVs in just a matter of seconds. That Prism is gonna go down. But now suddenly, MaxPax is at 66, 67 workers versus somebody who's got less than 30. If he can hold this attack here from HeroMarine, I think he's got this one in the bag. Colossus just popped, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Dark Shrine on the back it is too. MaxPax is so sick, dude. I've really become a MaxPax fanboy over the last half year. It's just that I'm a fan of high-level StarCraft, and the guy truly is the real deal. Yeah, no, this is GG. HeroMarine does not have enough stuff to win the game. His economy is trash compared to MaxPax. He's not even at +2/+2. As a matter of fact, he can only afford one upgrade. He's not in a situation where he can really tap out, I guess, but the next attack right here from MaxPax is gonna hit like a truck. Alrighty. I mean, unless we're starting to donate Colossi, right? That would be dumb. I don't think you want to do that. It almost feels like bait. Yeah. HeroMarine being very cautious when it comes to sniping that Colossus. I don't think it really matters, though. I mean, MaxPax is making this look pretty close now. I'm not gonna lie. He's got a lot of money in the bank. There's a Zealot warp in. I think we just do another couple of Zealot warp ins and we just send everything across the map. No need to get too fancy. Yeah, HeroMarine comes across again with another one of those Doom drops. I mean, this one is a lot scarier than the previous, though. This is like 50 army supply, forcing the recall on a lot of those Protoss units. Okay, lovely work right here by Big Gabe. Zealot army, once again, marching towards the other side of the map. Alright. I think this is actually quite impressive here from HeroMarine. He was up against the wall right there with his back. He didn't really have a whole lot going for him anymore. Great snipe right there on that pylon too. He's going to be able to get a lot more damage done over here. Is Gabe actually doing this? HeroMarine suddenly playing twice as good from behind. Obviously combined as well with the fact that MaxPax decided to make a bunch of mistakes. Doom dropping a couple of Marauders right here on top of Colossi. Nah, it's just not enough. HeroMarine decided to go for one final attack after falling really far behind. It did a bunch of damage, but it didn't do quite enough. Solaris is going to be game number 3. HeroMarine send out an SCV here pretty early. This is his side of the map. Only to build a barracks right in the middle of nowhere. Okay. A middle of nowhere barracks. I'm always a fan of those, even though I'm never entirely sure how good it truly is. This is one of those scenarios where now MaxPax is looking at this. He's like, wait a second. This is kind of fishy. He will see the double gas in the main base shortly. So I guess that's really all the information he truly needs. Yeah, so he knows at the very least that there is a barracks out there somewhere, but could it be a proxy barracks into a proxy factory? What exactly is going on? Now, getting confirmation that the factory was built at home is going to be really nice. So I think that's why he's sticking around here with this probe for a little bit longer. He's also scouting his own side of the map, though, just to make sure that there's no proxies here very close to home. So the most likely locations would be right over here on the low ground. Send the Reaper into the main base. Yeah, I don't think it's great, but it certainly does create a lot of panic on the side of the Protoss player. I really wonder how much one player can skew the entire data of StarCraft 2 tournaments, right? So I've talked about this many times already in the past, but MaxPax really is looking like the best Protoss in the world. And if that's the case, and he does not play offline events, I think, at the very least, right? I've been thinking about this a lot over the last couple of months, which is why I've talked about it a lot too, so I'll shut up about it after this. But I think that if MaxPax were to play offline StarCraft 2 tournaments, he would be able to make it to the top 4 in practically every single one of them. Assuming he plays at the same level that he does offline, he plays at the same level as he does online as he does offline, right? So assuming he can bring this same skill set of his to offline StarCraft 2 tournaments too. If we had a Protoss in every single top 4, maybe occasionally winning one, at the very least making it to the grand finals every once in a while too, that alone would already skew all of the data that we have for StarCraft 2. Like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh my god, Protoss, it's so incredibly underpowered. Look, Protoss didn't win a single Premier tournament in 2023. Like, what's going on with that, right? Like, this is the first year in StarCraft 2's history, if I'm not mistaken anyways, that Protoss did not win a Premier StarCraft 2 tournament. That's fair? But it doesn't help when the #1 Protoss in the world does not play offline events. Like, we can keep buffing Protoss, and maybe we should, but I'm not 100% convinced personally. I've got a feeling it's a little risky. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. So on the ladder, I face about 50 to 60% Protoss players. Very rarely do I play a Terran or a Zerg. Especially Zergs. I see very few Zergs. I think it's probably like 60% Protoss, 50 to 60% Protoss. Maybe 30-ish% Terran. And then every once in a while I see a Zerg versus Zerg. But very rarely do I actually play against the Zerg. It's a strange dynamic. Like, the higher leagues in StarCraft 2 are dominated by Protoss. Grandmaster League, for example, is like 60% Protoss as well, if I'm not mistaken. But then at the absolute tippity top, it's Terrans and Zergs again. And when it comes to Premier tournaments, like I said, Protoss very rarely wins them. It's never happened, though, historically, that we have a top-level contender who refuses to play the highest tournaments that we have, or the highest ranked tournaments that we have. So, yeah, I really wonder how much MaxPax skews those statistics. I'm a little afraid, as we do have an attack coming in right here. Let's see. Hold that thought for just a moment. Ah, no way. Blink is gonna finish up. I don't like this attack very much from HeroMarine, though. Like, Blink is finishing up right about right now. If he can get that medevac, okay. Very good boost away right there for HeroMarine. If he would have lost... Oh no, he might still lose it. That sucks. That really sucks. I'm a little afraid that if we keep buffing Protoss, that the ladder is going to be 70% Protoss before too long. That Serral and guys like, for example, Clem and Maru will still win 80% of the StarCraft 2 tournaments. And as long as MaxPax doesn't play in offline events, we will still not see Protoss winning. It's a very weird dynamic, but we'll see. We'll see what 2024 is going to bring. It's really going to be interesting. Okay, so after this failed early game aggression from HeroMarine, now he's got to contend with... Well, MaxPax's strongest build. Aggressive blink forward right over there. Good pickup control as well on that Prism, keeping a lot of those low HP Stalkers alive, or at the very least minimizing the losses. Now suddenly the SCVs are starting to drop, and this is super painful right here for the Terran. Okay. Observer Scout here sees exactly what's going on. Yeah, this series is looking like a clean sweep right here for MaxPax, right? And he's making it look relatively easy, too. There have been a couple questionable moments, but he seems to be in firm control of everything that he needs to do. And my favorite part about it is that he's still getting better. Like, it's not like he is playing perfectly here either. Like, I really feel like he's gotten better, too, over the last 3 months. Can't really say that of guys like, for example, well, Serral, right? I feel like Serral's always been good. But I don't know if he's necessarily gotten better over the last 3 months. Probably not. It's kind of insane. Anyhow, it'd be really nice if MaxPax gave a reason as to why he does not play offline tournaments. Like that would change a lot of stuff, I think. But he's just been radio silent on it all. People have asked him a million times and he's not saying. He's also not saying, by the way, that he will never play offline tournaments. So it's not like he's signing up and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it. He's pretty much always saying like, hey, I would like to. What does that mean, MaxPax? Why are you stringing us along, man? Anyhow, this is a very tough hold right here for HeroMarine. I think he can probably pull it off. The thing is, we're now at that situation where Protoss is starting to outgrow Terran. So this is just a 2 command center all in right now for HeroMarine, with a 4th Nexus coming up here for MaxPax. Zealot Warp in the main base. This is something that I always kind of feel like is really good by MaxPax, but also very risky. Because this is effectively a 2-base all-in here for HeroMarine. Storm is nowhere even remotely done. This Terran army actually can win the game. Yeah, I feel like this Zealot Warp over here is too ambitious. But at the very least, it's forcing HeroMarine to pause here for just a moment. It's like, come on. Come out and play. MaxPax doesn't want to come out and play. He wants to play as soon as Storm is done, which the clock is now ticking for. HeroMarine has no clue about what's going on. He's trying to macro up his bases, but he needs to go. No, killing rocks is not it, dude. Zealots once again distracting him. This push is way too slow. Way too slow. This should have hit 30 seconds minimum ago. Yeah, he's busy putting out fires at home, but ultimately, that Protoss economy has kicked in, and every minute that goes by right now, I think he can give up this base, MaxPax. I don't think you need this base. I mean, he's got Storm now. They're inside of the Prism. Yep. He's so good. Absolute domination. HeroMarine, who has been a top-tier contender on the European server for about a decade now, he just got absolutely torn apart by MaxPax.